Gentlemen, you don't have enough talent to win on talent alone. Alone.
Hello, and welcome to the Town of the Podcast brought by The Wheel. I'm your host, Adam Hess, and with me, as always, we've extended him for 1 year to avoid arbitration. It's Mike Regan. Mike, how are you doing today?
Doing good. I'm sucked in by this PFF released this like annual QB index thing for the NFL, and it has like the dopest, most like in-depth stats and stuff. Like you can see graded throws by situation, throw type, reads, coverage, alignment, accuracy based on ball placement, why throws missed, 0 grade production throws. Like it is like so in depth. QB alignment, stable and unstable metrics. Like this is dope. Passing spell. Oh my gosh. The only bummer is that I think this is something they only do like once a year before the season starts. I don't know if it's something they'll like update throughout the year.
Well, that's because Collinsworth has to call Sunday Night Football, so he can't do it during the season.
Collinsworth puts in all the data himself. You're right.
Well, who else would be doing it? You know, Mike?
Right.
Yeah, here's a guy with a 0 production throw, and I just think that we should put it into a spreadsheet and then update that with the graphics department online. It's crazy after all this time that I still go with, like, Collinsworth talking to Al instead of, what's his face?
Yeah, Mike Tirico, right?
Mike Tirico, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's crazy that after all this time, I still go to Collinsworth and Al, even though it's been Tirico and Collinsworth now for at least, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Who's Monday Night Football? Who's Aikman with on Monday Night Football, though?
Your favorite play-by-play guy, Joe Buck.
Oh, yeah, fucking hate Joe Buck.
Well, there is Joe Buck.
I hate Joe Buck just for the bit that everybody hates him.
Everyone hates Joe Buck because they think he hates his team. The guy does play-by-play. He's not even a color guy.
No, it's not even football related. Everybody thinks he hates their baseball team. That's where it all started.
Oh, that's why I don't have any thoughts on him, because I don't watch baseball.
Yeah.
It's like how everyone thinks Mike Tirico hates their favorite Olympic athlete.
Really?
No. I'm just making shit up. Did anyone from the football announcing slate call anything during the Olympics?
I have no idea. Probably not. Oh no, I think
during the World Cup.
Tirico.
During the World Cup.
Oh, World Cup? I don't know. Everybody in the World Cup sounded just like, "Oh, Michael, the beautiful game."
Can they get Zlatan Ibrahimovic to call some NFL games?
Now they gotta get Gus Johnson.
I really want to hear
Messi.
I really want to hear
Messi mania.
Like Chris Collinsworth have to say Zlatan instead of Mike or Al.
This is a Latin guy. I tell you what, we were talking to him before the game. I can understand a fucking word he was saying, but God, it was good.
Do you know, off the name alone, do you know what country Zlatan Ibrahimovic is from?
I think I'm gonna be surprised when I find out.
What's your guess?
Because it sounds like so like Czech or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to go Czech for your final guess?
Ibrahimovic, but I feel like I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to say Germany.
He's Canadian.
Oh, wow.
That's not true. He's from Sweden.
Okay. Sweden, yeah. So
Sweden. The Canada of Europe, they call it, Mike. The Canada of Europe. You know what's crazy? We're probably going to get a Mexico City team at some point, and we're just, I guess, never going to get a Canadian team in the NFL?
Yeah. They have the CFL, so
that no one watches.
Yeah, and I feel like who would get that? I mean, like Toronto would obviously be a big contender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's no football markets anywhere near Toronto, so they could probably take a whole mess of people.
I mean, like 2 hours away, but that would really heat up. That would be quite the rivalry if they did a Toronto team playing the Bills.
I don't think there's any way you could add a team to Canada, and they would have a rivalry with anyone in the United States.
I think the only one I could see would be like a Toronto team because of how close they are to Buffalo and then Detroit. That would probably be like the only possible rivalries.
Vancouver
or maybe
Seattle.
Like if they did Vancouver, get a rivalry going with Seattle.
Hey,
But, like,
let me ask you this.
those
while
would be
we're
the
talking
two
about this,
biggest markets.
and then we can move on and actually do our gimmick for this week.
Mhm.
Is Seattle a bad sports market, just period?
No, I think it's a
Real bad
like a
hockey market.
yeah, it's not the biggest market, but it's a very like the fan base is very devoted.
But
So like
is
they're
it?
going to be there.
Is it that devoted? Like we've
so.
talked more. We've have talked and going forward we'll talk more about the Knicks winning the NBA championship than anyone is going to mention the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean that's just different. We're on different levels there. I mean, like New York City, one of the biggest cities in the world.
Right.
All the cachet that comes with that compared to Seattle, who's known for like throwing fish at a market.
Right, but the New York basketball market, which is at best the second biggest sport in the United States, the New York basketball market is bigger than the Seattle football market.
Yeah, but I mean, Seattle, like I said, that's such a devoted, hardcore market that they're always going to be good. Like, they don't have to worry about making money. They're going to sell out their games. They're going to all that good stuff. So,
and obviously the basketball market was so bad they had to move the team to OKC.
Yeah, which is funny because OKC isn't even that big of a market. But once again, like once they got there, I think it was like the first like 8 or 10 years they had sellouts for entire seasons.
At OKC, they still do, I think.
Well, after like Durant left and then eventually Westbrook, they did have a couple years where that streak finally ended. But now I'm sure they're back on it.
You mean during the Pokusevski era?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it would be like they have a good environment at their games, but it's fucking lame because they all put out T-shirts that they make everybody wear.
How do you feel about the Spurs rainbow T-shirts? You can never see that's the thing. You can never make that shit work in New York.
No, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna wear whatever I want. Fuck you.
Imagine handing a shirt that you produced for like 11 cents to Spike Lee and Timothée Chalamet and being like, put this shirt on.
Yeah. Nah,
like Larry David's in the front row and you're going to get him to put on your dumb fucking shirt that you made earlier today at a 30-minute screen print warehouse.
Yeah.
See, what I'm saying is, okay, see, you're fucking basic, and just because you all wear white doesn't mean you're cool.
No. Matter of fact, you're not cool. You have a 2-time MVP?
Yeah, your biggest star's Canadian. Canadian.
He's literally one of the most boring players to watch.
Yeah. He's made me retroactively like Russell Westbrook more. You know how impossible that is?
Oh, yeah. At least Russ was fun to watch.
Russ was a game of Russian roulette, which made Russ fun.
Yeah. He'd be crashing the boards, stealing a rebound from Steven Adams, like out of his hands.
Russ would put up a shot, and you'd be like, all right, this is either going to go in as clean as a Curry shot, or it's going to completely miss the hoop and backboard and potentially take out someone in the front row.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mike, we are not a basketball podcast. And
Westbrook, OKC. Such a beautiful team.
Should never trade Harden or Ibaka. That was their real downfall, was trading away Serge Ibaka.
Fort Harden.
We are, in fact, not
Apparently
a basketball podcast.
This is a Basky now. Yeah.
Although we have been talking about basketball for the first 9 minutes of this podcast, and I introduced you with a hockey joke, so you might be loath to believe that this is in fact not a football podcast, but it is a football podcast brought to you by the makers of we'll say football itself. Why not? Who's gonna check? Mike, last week on this show, we did a little overly complicated draft where we drafted across 14, 15 categories, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. We drafted 9 total players that could not be drafted twice to draft our predictions for the following season. If you want to know what those are, right after we record this, I made up a graphic that I'll post on social media, so you can go see that, or you can just go listen to the last podcast. But this week, we're doing teams, Mike. We're doing teams. We're doing the same general idea, but teams. So the way this will work, we'll go back and forth. You have to draft 9 of the 14 possible categories, and there'll be a bonus question at the end that we both have to answer. For each category, you are not required to pick a team, as you have to draft 9 of the 14, but as soon as a team is picked, it cannot be taken in any other category. Mm-hmm. Your categories that you have open to yourself are most wins, most improved team, by total wins. The same record as last year. A team in the wild card, least wins, a team to win their division, best offense by EPA, highest rushing success rate, best defense by EPA, highest team pressure rate, team with the highest single game point total. So across the entire season, what team will have the game with the most points? Most turnovers forced, a team to win an international game, and smallest point differential at the end of the year. So that's closest to even across points scored and points allowed. And then finally, a bonus question that we will both answer that does not have the same restrictions as the previous 14 questions. Pick a team to fire their head coach in season. Any questions before we begin here, Mike?
No. I have to adjust on the fly because there's I kind of have it mapped out. Some of the questions I'm just going to have to abandon because there's repeating teams and the picks I want in other questions. So there's I already have some where I'm all right, that team could go early and I'm just going to have to abandon that category.
Well, okay. So you went first.
So you should go first now.
So I should probably go first, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's go. I mean, some of these, if two teams, let me ask you this. If two teams win 13 games, and that's the most wins, say there's no 15-2 or 14-3 teams, just 13 wins is the one seed in both conferences, do we just call that a tie?
No, I'd say the tiebreaker's point differential, because that would be the team that not only had the most wins, but won by the most points.
Do you think we'll remember that at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right. Mike, I think a pretty easy one to go with here, because it's a very limited pool, is a team to win an international game. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 international games this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Madrid game. November 8th, 2026, in Madrid, which I believe is near where Zlatan Ibrahimovic lives. Cincinnati Bengals versus Atlanta Falcons.
Let's go.
Cincinnati Bengals versus Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to go with the Bengals here. The Bengals, as we all know, are not a September team, but we're both expecting them to surge up the boards a little bit here. And I think Atlanta is quite bad. I think they're going to be quite bad, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Quite bad.
Quite bad. I wouldn't pick that one because I'm on the opposite end of the opinion on what Atlanta will do this year, but understandable.
In what possible universe are you on the opinion of things that Atlanta is going to be good?
I feel like I've talked about it already. We don't need to relitigate this then.
Well, not everyone listens to every fucking podcast, Mike.
And I mean, I think the Falcons could potentially come up in here later, at least in a talking point to defend my other choices. So we'll get to it.
Okay. Well, Mike, first picks off the board. You cannot take the Cincinnati Bengals in any category from here on out. So, who are you taking with your first pick?
So I'm going to go down for one of the more obscure ones. I'm going to go highest rushing success rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to go with my team, the Buffalo Bills.
What's the
They have
what's the logic there, Mike?
Well, they have a top 5 running back,
mm-hmm.
good offensive line. They have a pretty wide category. If you look at backup running backs, you have a good running back in Ray Davis, who has a little bit of a different skill set than James Cook to kind of fill in some of those holes. Plus, we have an extremely good running QB, and design QB runs go towards success rate. So last year, Buffalo was second in. My apologies. I just pulled up their general success rate. Buffalo was second, as I was saying. Yep.
In rush success rate with 46.6%. Mike, is there any concern for you about the fall off now that they've had this entire change in staff? No longer the same offensive coordinator calling plays. Head coach is out of the building, replaced by some up-and-coming youngster that we don't know how he's going to do in the seat. Is that of any concern for you in regards to how well Buffalo might do?
No, because our OC last year is now the head coach, so I imagine he's going to be very hands-on. He'd be very hands-on, DOC.
Does
and running
Diana
pretty
Rossini
similar.
know about this? Has she reported on it? I've been checking The Athletic. I haven't seen a lot of stories from her recently. Is she on vacation?
Last thing I saw was the story about how she would call head coaches to try to get out like traffic tickets. Like there was a video of her getting pulled over. It must have been like in New Jersey or New York. She was like, I was just on the phone with Brian Dable.
Yeah.
Like trying to like use that to get.
Wait, is that real? I thought you were making a Tiger Woods joke or a Vince McMahon joke.
No, I'm being serious. There was a story that she did that.
Traffic stop. Let's take a look here. Wow. Yeah. In 2026, she showed the officer a text message with Minnesota Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell.
That's it.
And the officer let her off with a verbal warning. How does that lead to a verbal warning?
Yeah, the best part was JJ McCarthy came up and the officer was like, yeah.
Well, I'll reach out to another reporter of clout who's working in the industry. Someone like, I don't know, Ryan Clark. I'll see if he's hearing any reports on it. Man, got a lot of jokes about fired reporters. Does Ryan Clark count as a reporter, or is he just a talking head?
He's just really a talking head.
Also, imagine losing a power struggle to fucking Peter Schrager.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mike. Anyway, did you pick the Bills this early because I took Josh Allen in the last draft and you wanted to make sure that you got yours?
No, I really liked him for this category, and it also not as much as usual, but it kind of hit with my bit of taking off a name you could use in a lot of places in a more obscure category.
Yeah, that's true. Some of these questions feel like they have somewhat obvious answers, and I want to touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Right.
But I am going to touch one of these categories with a 10-foot pole that I was just saying I'm probably not going to do. I'm going to go highest team pressure rate.
Okay.
I'm going to pick a repeat from last year. How do you feel about that, Mike? Going back to the well.
Sure.
The team with very limited turnover at this position. I am going to take the Houston Texans to have the highest team pressure rate again. Unlike my jokes about the Buffalo Bills. The Texans actually do have consistency at coach. With DeMeco Ryan on maybe the hottest seat that's ever existed in the NFL.
Yeah, sure.
Like, is Nick Caserio's seat so hot that DeMeco Ryan's seat is like literally on fire?
He's ready to throw him out of the plane to protect
like,
himself.
Is there any chance that if they lose week 1, they fire Ryan?
Week 1, no, I don't think so. That would be pretty crazy. But at some point, if the season's struggling halfway through, playoffs aren't looking great, I'm sure Cesario is going to pull the Bane meme. They expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
Got it. Crazy that that Nolan guy tore a plane in half. It's because he hates CGI so much. He does it again in the Odyssey. There's a plane flying through the air they tear in half.
Yeah. This was one of those categories where it's like most likely pick is to just go pretty chalk like with last year because their defense didn't change at all.
Yeah, I thought about going with the Rams here because obviously they have the very big acquisition of re-signing both their safeties, which we all are looking forward to a lot in regards to what this defense is going to look like. Yeah. But all joking aside, they obviously brought in Myles Garrett. So I thought about going with the Rams here. But last year, the Rams were 4th in pressure rate.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared Verse is very good. Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. There is a difference there. But they also play in probably the hardest division in football. And the Houston Texans notably do not play in the hardest division in football. You start to kind of agree with me when I start to just like this, right, Mike? Oh, God.
Yep.
That started to hurt. All right, Mike. 3 AFC teams off the board. Is the NFC cooked?
Wow. I don't think so. Probably.
It's probably all over for them. Mike, your turn.
Mm-hmm. So a few places to go here. There was one category I really liked the Bengals in, so you kind of fucked me there.
Smallest point differential. Most turnovers forced.
Most improved.
Least amount of pass rushers that were on the team last year playing this year.
Yeah, no, it was most improved by wins. I'm going to go ahead and take this team off the board. We're going to go with team to win their division. There's only one division where I feel like there's just one team that should be considered a heavy favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Duval. I'm going with Jacksonville to be back-to-back AFC South division champs.
Just to be clear, I don't mind that. But they were one win over the Texans last year.
Yeah, I think the Texans, despite having this great defense, I think their offense is going to continue to crater this year.
I mean, I get that you're such like a Duval truther.
Mm-hmm.
It's still kind of a wild pick to be like, there's only one team that I am sure of is going to win their division.
That's pretty it. Yeah.
Like, I mean, fuck's sake, the Eagles won their division by 4 wins.
Yeah, but like I would not count out, like that was last year.
That was last year. You are correct. They did not win it by 4 wins this year yet because the season hasn't started. Who are you not counting out in that division then?
Dallas, a resurgent Commanders team. Counting out the Giants.
You see the whole what's his face can't do a backflip. Scatabo.
He did land on his feet, and then he continued to. His body kept going, and he fell on his ass.
Yeah, well, the Russian judge gave that a 2 and then executed him. So,
damn.
You really like someone whose a leg exploded, not doing backflips well. You know, right out the gate. That's good.
It was even worse because he pulled his leg up. He saw the scar from surgery. He smacked his knee beforehand to be like, "Yeah, I'm all good."
Is he the guy most likely to get tricked by a pyramid scheme in the NFL?
He's most likely to get hit with a crypto pump and dump.
Yeah, who's like, if you found out that someone got rug pulled by a meme coin, would it be less surprising to you if it was Scatabo or Aaron Rodgers?
Ooh, no, Aaron Rodgers would be doing the rug pull on Scatabo.
It's called Rodgecoin.
Yeah.
Still, no NFC teams taken.
Oh yeah.
Let's God, I like there's some teams in the NFC that I definitely want a piece of, but I also like some of them are in really scary divisions, and that's kind of like what I'm worried about most. Let me think here. Do I want to stick on defense? Do I want to do the same bit I did last time? That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
Fun?
Wouldn't it be fun, Mike? Let's go with best EPA per play on offense. And I am going to go with the Green Bay Packers, who have consistently ranked in the top 5 every year. And they're getting, what, a 3rd place schedule now? A 2nd place schedule this year?
Yeah, I got them at
2nd place schedule after going 9-7 last year. 9-7, and they still ended up 4th in EPA per play on offense.
Yeah. I guess that depends on how your strength of schedule, whichever one you're looking at, how they mocked it up. They use it. Because you're saying the Packers have the 3rd easiest schedule this year?
No, I'm not saying they have the 3rd easiest schedules. I'm saying they have a 2nd place schedule because they finished 2nd in their division.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, they don't have the 2nd easiest schedule. You jabroni.
Who do you have as 2nd easiest schedule there? Bud.
Based off, this one is based off opponents' win percentage from last season. So they got the Saints with the second easiest.
Yeah,
they have Green Bay with the 4th hardest.
I don't mind that, but strength of schedule off of last season's win total is not very good.
It doesn't take into account the changes, obviously, that were made by these teams. So it's tough to say, use last year's win percentage for this year. I mean, because a lot of these teams aren't the same team. So, yeah.
Let's see. According to strength of schedule adjusted by Vegas projected win total.
There you go.
The Saints are second. Lions are first. The Packers are around the middle, 17.
Oh, okay. Well,
And with that, Mike,
I don't hate it.
we'll end the podcast.
I'm not a big Jordan Love guy, but I mean, he does. When you look at a lot of the numbers, he's high up there in a lot of categories.
But
So,
like,
I don't hate it.
are you a big T-Law guy?
I'm a big T-Law guy, and I think you could probably say they're comparable.
Yeah. I mean, I think that T-Law probably has more of like the raw tools because, like, you know, Love wasn't supposed to be a generational prospect, but they both, where they shine is that they have, you know, like clairvoyant offensive play callers. It's just
And
that
it helps. It's not all on Jordan Love to make this number happen. It's also this
Yeah.
dude named Josh Jacobs.
yeah,
Yeah.
not that's not exactly a inspiring way to finish that sentence.
What? Josh Jacobs sells a lot in the tank. Why are you hating on JJ?
Josh Jacobs is fine. I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about here.
Jacobs
I know.
hater. Josh Jacobs hater.
Last year on Rush EPA, the Packers finished 21st.
Damn.
While being fourth in EPA. I mean, Jordan Love's he's just like a deep shot artist, which helps a lot with EPA per play. Because every play, like a 40-yard completion is worth a lot more EPA than a 10-yard completion or an 8-yard screen and run or whatever.
Right.
And that's it, Mike. We're gamifying it, you know? I don't give a fuck who wins or
Gamified.
loses any game. I just care about what the numbers say at the end of the day. It's like Kenny Atkinson. You know, the Cleveland Cavaliers actually won all the games in that series?
They actually won the NBA championship from an analytical standpoint.
Yeah, according to the analytics, it actually went Cleveland Cavaliers, then Charlotte Hornets, then San Antonio Spurs, then New York Knicks. So the Knicks actually came in fourth, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. One NFC team off the board. NFC's back. The NFC has been saved.
Yeah.
Who are you taking? What are you taking? What are you drafting? here, Mike?
So I'm going to go ahead and jump in here on the opposite end, defensive EPA per play.
Yes, that is the opposite end.
And this is one similar to like your Texans pressure rate thing, where Seahawks came in second in defensive EPA per play last year, and they
According to
kept
whom?
their defense for NFELO.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at a different EPA model that had them first.
Oh, okay, so still that makes it a little better. They kept their defense like mostly pretty much intact from last year, and also, Mike McDonald. So I think they could probably pull that off again last year. Another team I was mulling around was Broncos saw a great defense last year, but we're a little bit farther down in EPA per play, and I thought maybe we'll get like a big surge by them if they stay healthy all year. But I decided just to go chalk.
Yeah, and the Broncos have a slight linebacker problem.
Yeah, that's what's funny. When you started to say slight, I was going to say linebacker problem.
Yeah. The benefit for the Broncos though are that they have one linebacker who's much faster than he was last year because he's lost all that testicle weight.
Who lost their testicles?
What's his face? The Clay Matthews knockoff, Alex Singleton.
Snap. Oh, okay.
Alex Singleton, because of testicular cancer, had a testicle removed.
All right, my bad.
And now,
my
Mike,
jokes, bro.
I think that we are the single NFL podcast this offseason who has said the word testicle the most times. Would you?
It's a goddamn award.
Would you? I was about to say, would you like to accept our award at the Streamies, or you want me to accept our award at the Streamies?
I'll let you do it.
All right, Mike. Should I recap the draft now that we're 3 rounds in?
No, you should do it at 4 or 5 rounds in. It's more than midpoint.
Got it. Oh, Mike. You know, we've kind of stayed away from like a lot of the wins record stuff, which I understand because it's slightly less predictable. Obviously, you took the Jags to win their division. But I am going to go with a category that always is enjoyable and fascinating and fun to root for. I'm going to go with the most improved team by wins. I think that the sweet spot here is 5 or 6 wins, and I think the Saints can just do that, Mike. I think the Saints can surge to the top of their division with good coaching, a stronger roster, and maybe Tyler Shuck.
My
12 win
it's
Saints.
funny that like I'm super Falcons build, and within the same division you're super Saints build.
I think honestly, I would be surprised if the Saints win 10 games. But there is no good candidates for that award this year. Outside of like a team that was hampered by injury, like you could say the Chiefs, like a Chiefs surge. But I don't want stock in this Chiefs team. The entire team is old or bad or both, except Mahomes.
Yeah. And it actually is it is a pretty solid pick based off of they play in a division where like all their divisional games are winnable, really. And then once again, slightly flawed, but based off of the win percentages last year, they had the second easiest schedule.
Yeah. I mean, even based off of Vegas's projected total against teams they play, they have the second easiest schedule. Now, their over-under is at 7.5. So they might only, according to Vegas, they might only win 2 more games than they did last year.
Yeah.
There are some other pretty good places or teams that could improve a solid amount. Bengals are already off the board, so you can't take them. But a lot of the other teams, it's like, oh, this team could improve, but it's like a team that won, was around 500. So it's not a team you necessarily want to invest in. A team being around 500 would have to, bark like a dog to really sell it. A team around 500 would have to, win, be the 1 seed to be in competition to be most improved.
You could make an argument for the Chiefs, but their strength of schedule is tough just based off the fact that having to play the Broncos and the Chargers twice is going to already skew that and make it a tough schedule. So yeah, that's what shied me away from even putting the Chiefs down in this category. So
yeah,
I have one team left in this category. We'll see if I feel confident enough later on to go with it.
Yeah, I think there's another team I wish I had taken instead that I just thought of, but oh well, too late, Mike. Your turn to pick.
Very, very too late. I'm gonna go with least wins. Least wins.
So just to point out, Mike, if this team loses 6 games, ties 6 games, and wins 5 or whatever, you still win. It's purely the least wins. It has nothing to do with overall schedule or win percentage.
Gotcha. So I think there's 2 obvious teams to go with, and this is kind of funny, is the Cardinals or the Dolphins. And
why is that funny?
Because they both suck. Arizona has the 30th ranked strength of schedule, and the Dolphins have the 31st. So this also doesn't really give me a lot of answers. I'm gonna go Dolphins. The Cardinals are also in a tough division. The Cardinals division is 3 teams deep, while the Dolphins division is only 2. However, I think there's some areas of the Cardinals where maybe they could steal a couple games they shouldn't. Most notably, I think they do have some good dudes on defense that could keep them in some games they shouldn't be in, or we get those weird Jacoby Brissett games where he pops off. Carson Beck comes in, just lights the world on fire with his Tommy John elbow. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Dolphins because the offense has no weapons. Massive cube. Come on, Malik Willis, massive question mark. And also their defensive roster is terrible.
That's the thing with the Cardinals too. I'm not saying the Cardinals are a quarterback away from Super Bowl contention, but they have a lot of the core pieces you want, right?
Yeah.
They have at least 3 receivers you'd believe in, including Trey McBride. And I'm including Marvin Harrison Jr., who I think is obviously never going to be fucking Megatron reborn, but he's still a good receiver. They have
That's Jeremiah Smith, by the way, who's Megatron reborn.
They have their all pro left tackle in Paris Johnson. They have their running back of the future. On defense, they have Walter Nolan. They have a really good defensive backs room.
Yeah,
and somehow they still have Calais Campbell, I think.
And my boy.
Who's your boy?
Josh Sweat. Pride of the
Josh Sweat apparently wants out. Apparently he wants to get traded. But they have all the pieces there where you can start to believe in it. It's just they're still rolling out Jacoby Brissett, and that's kind of the problem. I mean, they need to tank to get a quarterback, But the problem is they have like too many pieces on there that could actually steal some games. Whereas Miami, it's like, okay, yeah. So they're starting Malik Willis, who's going to hand the ball off to Devon Achane. And that's it. I've listed all the players on this team that you need to remember the names of.
Yeah, I actually like really like their defense, especially their backfield. But unfortunately, they're gonna probably always be like exhausted by the second half from being on the field the entire first half and start to break down.
Yeah, there's no most turnovers category for this draft, but Miami should absolutely be in the running for that.
Oh yeah.
Like, do we really like Malik Willis? Really? Like, when he's playing 3 games under Matt LaFleur, I can find myself buying in to his ability to be like a run-first quarterback. But when he is going to be playing 15 to 17 games under Hafley, is that the coach in Miami now? Jeff Hafley?
I believe so.
Do you really trust in their ability to think of a unique offense for a guy whose skill set isn't throwing a ball at quarterback?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, Jeff Hafley is the new head coach.
Just saying. I think that I think Miami might be in a conversation for a lot of turnovers. A lot of turnovers. You know, it's a category we haven't explored yet that I think is a very, very easy one to hit the nail on the head for.
Mm-hmm.
None of us have taken a wildcard team yet.
Yeah, because I'm kind of hoping some teams get taken off the board to narrow down the list I made.
Yeah. Well, I think that there are some real obvious candidates here, Mike. Some real obvious candidates. So we took the 2 in the AFC South already off the board. I think the AFC North is pretty right because I doubt the Steelers are going to win that division. Bengals already off the board. Ravens might win it. But I think most of all, Mike, the AFC East has got 2 teams, one of which will win the division and the other of which will make the playoffs. You already took one of them, so I'll just take the other. I'll take the New England Patriots, the defending AFC champions, to be a wildcard team.
Oh, to be a wildcard team. I like that.
I like it too. That's why I took it, Mike.
Much harder schedule this year.
Yeah, they have what? Let's see here. According to Sharp Football Focus, they have... I don't know. They're somewhere on here. I'm sure they have a hard schedule. I don't feel like really nailing down exactly where they are. Who are they? Who did the AFC East? What divisions do they play this year? They have the 12th hardest schedule according to this.
It looks like we play the AFC West and the NFC
North.
North.
Yeah. AFC West, NFC North.
Tough draw.
That is a tough draw, but also 2 games against Miami, 2 games against the Jets. The Patriots also get Pittsburgh and Jacksonville as their other 2 in-conference games. So, you know, just definitely a harder schedule than they had last year, which was like the softest of all soft schedules.
Yeah.
But I still doubt that they're going to win, you know, less than 10 games, less than 11 games.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much talent on that team for that to happen.
So I'll take them to win the wild card, Mike. Or make the wild card. I guess not win the wild card. You don't really win the wild card.
Yeah, it's true.
Who you got, Mike?
Crap. It's getting tough. It's getting tough here.
I once again have a category on this list that I'm like, well, no matter what, I'm going to take a team off of this category.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, as I'm looking at the teams I had listed for some categories, I'm like, oh, that's a good pick. I'm like, oh crap, but I already took them for this one. So I forked myself hard. I'll come behind you.
Don't do
like how
that.
that sounded. Yeah. I'm gonna slide in behind you here, and also do highest team pressure rate and take this team off the board for other categories. You mentioned them, and I'm actually gonna go with it, and I'm gonna say the Rams. I think they added Garrett for a reason. They got that, improved that secondary for a reason, and I think they're going to send the house, Byron Young, Myles Garrett and company, and cause some havoc, if you will.
Will we spend another 4 months talking ourselves into top coaching candidate Chris Shula, only to have it explode in our faces at the last second again?
I mean, most likely. I don't see why not. I don't see why that wouldn't happen.
He's kind of gremlin-y looking. I think that's why he didn't get hired.
I think that's it. You're fine, right?
You ever look at him? It's like he's got like Jeep eyes is the best way I could put it.
Oh yeah, he's kind of like a little bit of a goblin look going on there.
He's got a little bit of a hunch.
Yeah.
You know.
Face very square head.
Anyways, now that we're done insulting Chris Shula, oh my god, I just saw a picture
Shula.
of him from I saw a picture of him from Ball State where he looks like someone he's like the second evolution on an Animorph that ends up as an iguana. You think Chris Shula listens to this podcast? You think we just ruined his day?
Everybody does.
Everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
Then why does Spotify keep telling me they expect me to have more followers?
Because it's literally just NFL head coaches following us. That'd only get us like 32.
we have 32 followers, and it's all the head coaches.
Yeah, or OCs/DCs. It's a mix. It's like a cosmic gumbo.
So far we've pissed off Vrabel and Shula. Who else can we piss off by the end of this podcast? I guess we both have to pick a team to fire their coach in season. So whoever we pick there.
Yeah, we'll piss them.
Oh, what round are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 rounds left, Mike. I am going to go. I'm going to go with most wins because it's crazy we've gotten this far without taking a most wins.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. You know, team that's pretty consistently very good in the regular season, has a pretty easy schedule this year.
Yeah.
They have the best safety in the league and the second best quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes.
Second best quarterback behind Josh Allen.
So you put Mahomes
Patty's
third.
got the bronze.
Bam.
Possibly fourth at this point in his career.
Yeah. It goes Josh, Lamar, Terrell Pryor Jr., Patrick Mahomes.
Shadur.
You really
Yeah, I
are the
hate you for
embodiment of Mel
taking
Kiper. Why? Did you want him
for
somewhere
taking
else, or?
They were my most likely team to do for most wins. I probably should have jumped on it sooner.
Yeah, I'm surprised we got this far without most wins. I mean, it feels like the obvious one, and you and I both went wackadoo with our first picks, which is, you know, as we are often want to do. We now have probably the only teams that either one of us wants to take out of the AFC North taken off the board. I don't think there's a category that I really want to take Pittsburgh or Cleveland in. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe there's a category
maybe
I can
not.
think of. With my brain, I have an idea, you know?
Your big brain.
Having brain ideas over here.
Look at you with your big brain ideas.
All right, Mike.
All right. I'm going to go with same record as last year.
Yeah, that's a good category. It's a good category. Whoever came up with that one, smart category.
Smart category.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take the aforementioned fighting Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Jesus Christ. Are you sure, Mike?
Positive.
They won the division last year.
Yeah, 10-7.
But Rodgers was healthy all year.
Yeah, I still think. I mean, maybe Mike McCarthy can come in with some good offensive ideas to hide some of Aaron Rodgers' 40 billion-year-old weaknesses he has now. Defense is still pretty good. They had a good year last year. Season isn't, or their record isn't super hard. And even though they're going to have to play Cincinnati and Baltimore twice, it's the AFC North, and it feels like that always gets weird, and they split those series. So
yeah, they'll probably split those. I'll give you that. But just to be clear, you picked a team that downgraded at coach, has a 42-year-old quarterback, was 19th in defensive EPA last year, and traded away their best wide receiver 2 years ago at this point to have the same record they had last year.
Yeah, there.
Okay.
I don't understand what your point is, really.
That it was a bad draft pick, Mike. My point is mainly that it was a bad draft pick. It'd be like if I took the Titans for most wins or something.
We'll see about that.
Let's see. So the categories I still have left. Same record. Good category. Least wins to win their division. Highest rushing success rate. Best defense by EPA. team with the highest single game point total, most turnovers forced, smallest point differential. Those are the categories I have left. And I believe I have 3 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have 3 rounds left. You know, I was considering taking the Browns for the same record, but I just simply cannot allow us to draft all 4 teams in the AFC North. I cannot allow that to happen on my watch. I cannot allow the primary focus of this podcast to be the fucking AFC North.
Fair.
Garbage division. Let's go with I'm going to talk slowly while I think. So, this bit's probably getting a little long in the tooth. I am going to go with smallest point differential, which is the category that I was thinking, no matter what, I'm going to draft. But the question is whom will I draft in this category, Mike? So last year, the winner would have been the Steelers, who were net positive 10 points, which would have been the closest to 0. I don't necessarily see that happening, but what I do see happening is a team that was in conversation with them in that range. They were 11 points over 0 last year. Maybe not. I was going to go with the Vikings, but they really improved at quarterback just by not having to rely on backups and J.J. McCarthy. Although, you know, that Kyler Murray can only play about half of a good season at a time.
Yeah.
God. This is a hard category, Mike. It's a hard category you put on here. I am going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm signing in. Okay. Smallest point differential, Dallas Cowboys. Last year, they were minus 40 points on the season, which was would have been good for like 7th place in this category. But we're crossing our fingers for, you know, Micah Parsons to return. I watched a lot of Dallas last year. I don't remember seeing him on the field very often. Nothing for that. I thought that was a pretty good joke. Didn't even get a smile.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about something.
You know, jokes don't really convey without a reaction sometimes, Mike.
My bad.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As per usual, Dallas was a lot better during some stretches than others. and ended up having a pretty bad defense that had a few weeks where it was good, and we all got talked into it. Mm-hmm. But I do think that they have some young pieces I like who are going to improve. They have 2 really good wide receivers. They had a really good running game last year by promoting the Cardinals' former running backs coach to being their offensive coordinator, and then that improved. And you know, I think that we're all just really bought into the Kellen Moore play calling.
Yeah.
Once again, Mike.
That was a joke, because earlier this year, we were texting, and I thought Kellen Moore was the head coach of the Cowboys. How dare you?
It's Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer. The Shotty. Schottenheimer in a classic, like, they hired that guy? Who the fuck was that guy move? And then he had a pretty good first year.
Yeah.
On the way to,
I was surprised at the year he had
a walloping 7-9-1 record, sure, but, you know.
Offense looked great.
Offense looked great sometimes. We can agree on that. Sure. Oh, Mike. Okay. Your pin ultimate pick here, Mike.
Oh, I see what you did there. Double pent.
Triple pin.
Clever guy. Let's see. Do I go?
Recipe Sam Neill.
Most turnovers.
Most turnovers forced, that is.
Yeah, most turnovers forced, or I go smallest point differential.
Smallest point differential is a good category. Good category, whoever put it on there.
Most of the teams I was thinking about, most turnovers forced have been taken, so I'm going to go ahead and also slide in behind you and take smallest point differential. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go with the team. So once again, they were a point differential of, what was it? I think it was 26 points last year. And that was with them forcing the most turnovers in the league, and turnovers do not usually translate year to year. So take away some of those turnovers, take away some of those good field positions, or maybe defensive scores. Chicago Bears.
Yep, I wrote it down before you even finished when you said most turnovers.
Yeah, it feels like all these moves over the past 3 years they've made to build this defense just cannot seem to translate.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about the Bears, right? The Bears had like a horseshoe up their ass last season.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that there is no chance that they're able to replicate that. I mean, I think that we can all agree that we expect Caleb Williams to improve. Ben Johnson in his second year as a head coach. They have some pieces that I like in their backfield, or in their secondary, specifically Jalen Jones, who I believe is still there. But Jalen Jones had a very good year one. They have a lot of pieces on their offense to like, especially their skill position core. They rebuilt the interior of their line last year, and it really worked. But they got by on so many one-score games and so many turnovers.
Yeah.
What are the chances they repeat that, you know?
I don't know.
But if there's one man who can do it, Mike, it's Colston Loveland. So I think that's a good pick.
Find someone who loves you like Adam loves Colston Loveland.
Hey, listen,
right,
I'm just saying. Last year, you were tooting Tyler Warren's little horn over and over again. You were just tooting away on it. And by the end of the year, he was the second best rookie tight end in terms of EPA created.
That's true.
So, who was right when they said Colston Loveland should go over Tyler Warren, despite not watching a single snap of either guy in college? This guy. This guy was right.
You were.
Is there a conversation to be had that Tyler Warren was the third best tight end behind Harold Fannin?
I do love me some Harold Fannin.
Who's to say? Why is it the only tight end you don't like from that class is Colston Loveland?
I've come around on him. I just thought he was I think he was just really overdrafted. But he also could have. When you look back on it, you're like, he was in an offense in Michigan that really didn't feature him the way they could have.
Hey, why did Michigan's AD get fired?
The investigation into the Sharon Moore situation looks like it was a known thing what was going on as far as like the affair and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he possibly could have done more and stepped in, but didn't. From my understanding, that's what it is.
So Harbaugh really just cut bait at the appropriate time, and the program has self-immolated.
And then that it also like tacks on to just like for 3 years now, over the past 3-4 years, there's been like sanctions and scandal after scandal.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, you gotta look at the guy at the top of the athletic department.
Is there any chance that they can hire Connor Stallions as a new AD?
Well, no, they're going to hire someone and not realize it's Connor Stallions.
Yeah, they're going to hire some guy with a British accent and a giant bushy mustache. Oh no, it was Connor Stallions all along!
I am Reginald Horses.
Oh, Michael, I am going to take least wins. Least wins. And here's the thing, Mike. You were close. But in classic Major League style, just a bit outside on your pick for least wins. You went with the Dolphins of Miami, who are starting Malik Willis at quarterback. I'm going to go for the team that started has the starting quarterback that had the least wins last year.
0?
No. I'm going to go with the New York Jets, who are starting Geno Smith. I'm going to go with the New York Jets. Now, the big question here, Mike, is how much is this going to this category here that you and I have split in the same division? Mm-hmm. Will the deciding factor be these two teams' head-to-head record against each other?
That, or the deciding factor could be... One sec. So yeah, week 18, Jets are playing the Bills, which means Miami is going to be playing New England. And the factor could be which one of the teams between the Bills or the Patriots are going to be resting their starters.
Well, I think a better question is, can the Jets force one turnover this year?
That's a good question. Hey, they made some moves on that defense. I think the Jets have been making some good moves, but I think the moves are all just like setting a foundation to have a god-awful season, get their quarterback of the future, fire Aaron Glenn to bring in the new regime, and
So
go from there.
they brought in Minka Fitzpatrick and Tavondre Sweat. David Onyemata, Kingsley Ingabare. Any of these?
David Bailey.
Drafted David Bailey.
Drafted
the defense,
D'Angelo Pons.
The defense, yeah, there you go. That's really gonna move the needle. I don't like Pons, too small.
I know because he's small, yeah.
Yeah. The question with the Jets are, they've obviously improved their defense, but have they improved it from one of the worst defenses of all time to able to hold enough water for Geno Smith, who quarterbacked the worst offense in football last year, to push him over the finish line to what? What's the win total that the worst team will have?
Probably 3 wins, I think.
Yeah. Last year I think it was 2. Was it 2 or 3 last year? I'll check.
I got it right here. It was 3.
It was 3.
Yeah, there was multiple teams tied at 3.
So last year, just according to Mike's chart, the winner would have been the Jets because they tied in wins, and then the worst point differential was the Jets amongst the 3-win teams.
Yeah, I guess the Jets I think they're setting it up though to be like a real QB away of being back in the playoffs because they've maintained to keep their skill position together. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, drafted Mark Cooper Jr. We'll have to wait and see what Adonai Mitchell still has if he can.
Oh, I forgot they added
career around.
I forgot they added A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah, they drafted Kenyon Sadiq. They got 2 good tackles in Olu Fashionua and Armand Membao. Like, I think they're setting up to be like next year draft, Dante Moore, Arch Manning, someone like that. And then
but here's the thing,
completely
Mike.
Different team.
Here's the thing that you're not accounting for.
That they're
the Jets. They're the Jets. It doesn't matter who they draft. That player will be bad. The team is cursed.
That's true.
Arch Manning could win 2 Heismans this year, and then they'll draft number 1 overall. And his first season in the league, he'll discover cocaine, and it will all just be a downward spiral. Like it's the Jets, man. It can't happen. It's because they trade Babe Ruth.
I don't think you have the sport right on that, but I'll believe you.
Yeah. Now, if you found out that the Jets had drafted Babe Ruth in like the 1921 draft or whatever, would it really surprise you that much? All right, Mike. Your turn. Your turn here.
My turn. Oof.
You are the chooser now. Your categories you have left, for those of you at home who can't see, which is going to be all of you, because I'm not going to include the board in the video anyways. Team to win an international game, most turnovers forced. Team with the highest single game point total. Best offense by EPA. A team to make the wild card. Most improved team, and most wins.
I'm going to go with Wildcard Team. And I'm going to take the team that just feels like they will be a perennial wildcard team because they can't seem to like completely put it together. And that is the Los Angeles Chargers.
I thought about going with the Chargers. Also, way to get both Los Angeles teams.
I love LA.
I thought about going with the Chargers, but I honestly cannot tell you who's going to win, who's going to come second, and who's going to come third in the AFC West. Like, you could tell me any collection of those 3 teams between the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos would win that division, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, the Chargers and the Chiefs both have a tougher schedule, not by a big margin than the Broncos. I just think the Chiefs, I think, will be better next year. And I think the Broncos, despite what Bo Nix looks like coming back from injury or whatever, like I think that defense is still going to be so good. I think it's going to be like, in a cartoon where people fight and there's like this big cloud of smoke.
Yes.
I think it's going to be like that all year. And then by the end, the Broncos are still going to like come out like a game ahead to win that division.
I feel like the Broncos had like a substantial 1-possession game season last year. They also, remember that fucking Giants game they came back from like down 18 with like 5 minutes left too?
That's true.
The AFC West is borked. Is that the most borked division? What's like, if you had to pick one division that you just had to like shrug and pay attention to come January, what division would it be?
Probably the AFC West the NFC South.
Yeah. the NFC South, like we were saying earlier, the Saints could win less, like 5 games, or they could win 12 and win the division. And not just like, yeah, sure, either way, sure. There was a stretch of time where people were like, Baker Mayfield's an MVP candidate, and the team ended up 8-9, one of the 3 8-9 teams in the division.
I was about to say that 3 teams went 8-9. The Saints went 6-11. Could be set up for a big improvement. So I honestly think the NFC South winner is going to be 9-8 this year.
Every team in that division had a negative point differential.
Yeah.
Every team in that division split their division record at 500.
Done.
How much would you just hate to be a fan of an NFC South team? It doesn't seem like it's any fun.
Yeah, it's not because it's not even like, man, all the teams in our division are so good, so it's just gonna be like heavyweights battling it out. It's like, no, man, all the teams in this division are just like, yeah,
yeah. It's not like there was 2 teams at the top that basically only lost to each other all year, like you had in the NFC West, where the Seahawks and Rams combined went 5-0 non-conference, went 4-2 in the division. So, like, the Seahawks lost 1 non-divisional game. The Rams lost 3 non-divisional games all year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same thing with 49ers. 49ers lost 3 non-divisional games all year. The Falcons, Panthers, and Buccaneers, it's like, they might honestly go, like, 0-5 non-division. And, like, to start the year, and you just be like, yeah, but they still might win the division.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. All right, Mike. This is my final pick here. Mm-hmm. My possible categories are same record as last year, which I like, but I feel like all the good teams have been taken off the board for that.
Well, apparently I took the worst one off the board.
You took a pretty bad one there, Mike. I mean, I could take the Colts there, but I don't know. About an 8-9 Colts season.
I'm so down on the Colts, yeah.
Yeah. But I could take same record, win the division, highest rushing success rate, best defense, team with the highest single game point total, most turnovers forced. Those are the categories I can take. I'm going to take win their division because they're, to me, is a very obvious team that I'm double checking that somehow we have not taken here yet, and we have not. And that is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles, who have, for the first time in a very long time, won their division, I believe, 3 years in a row.
Correct.
Which classically, the NFC East for like 25 years was like, new winner every year. Can't that team win it twice in a row? Nobody can win this twice in a row. And then the Eagles have just gone on a tear through it. So as long as they have the infrastructure they have there, they once again had a very good draft. They traded away A.J. Brown, sure, but they have a Heisman winner in their WR1 spot. A.J. Brown wasn't exactly contributing week to week. They still have what is probably going to end up being the best rushing attack in the league, despite the fall off in terms of offensive line play. And the rest of the division is somewhere between middling and bad a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, going back to our favorite statistic of the podcast, strength of schedule, the Commanders have the 25th easiest schedule. Dallas Cowboys, the 29th easiest schedule. The Giants, the 24th. And your Philadelphia Eagles have the 7th easiest.
Yeah. I was going to point that out. They have the easiest schedule in that division.
By far the easiest schedule. The Vegas is projecting the Giants 7.5 wins, the Commanders 7.5 wins, the Cowboys 8.5 wins. So it seems pretty clear by the betting numbers that Philadelphia should walk with this division.
Yeah, I'd consider them for most wins as well because of that schedule.
Yeah. Well, Mike, your final pick here. Make it a not dumb one like your Pittsburgh pick.
We're gonna go with the international game winner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this was a team I was also considering for most improved, but there were some things that scared me away from them. And I'm going to go with your very own Washington Commanders in Week 4 in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to beat the Indianapolis Colts because I'm super down on the Colts. So real quick, I thought about them for most improved, but my concerns are, one, same head coach, and I'm not super confident in Dan Quinn right now. And 2, they promoted from within after removing Cliff Kingsbury.
Yep. Kicked out Cliff Kingsbury. 31-year-old David Blow as the OC. They also promoted a defensive coordinator from within, despite having a very bad, no good defense last year. Big addition during the offseason. They brought in that pass rusher whose name I'm blanking on right now, but also Sonny Styles in the draft. So obviously trying to improve on that end of things. Basically no one at wide receiver for the team, I think, is a big concern there.
What happened to Terry and Debo? Yeah,
Debo's gone. It's just Terry.
Oh, that's right. Just Terry.
Yeah. Brandon Ayuk is supposed to come there, but
Jalen Lane, brother,
the return man, Jalen Lane.
Yeah. He's gonna go full Hester this season.
How many touchdowns would Jalen Lane have to score? He scored 1 last year on a punt, I believe. That might be maybe he scored 2. How many touchdowns would Jalen Lane have to score for you to be like, man, Jalen Lane MVP of this Commanders team?
Yeah. A lot.
Like if Jalen Lane scored 8 special teams touchdowns this year,
MVP.
At that point, would you have to be like MVP of the season, Jalen Lane, or would you still be like, yeah, but Terry got 11 in receiving or whatever?
Yeah. You guys did draft Antonio Williams out of Clemson, but he had dropped all the way to the 3rd round, and he's currently mocked as like your wide receiver 2, and wide receiver 3 is Luke McCaffrey. So that's not a great.
Luke McCaffrey, who after Jalen Lane got hurt, took up return duty and then got hurt.
Yeah, I think Christian McCaffrey might be a better receiver in general than Luke McCaffrey.
Oh, all right, Mike. Let me recap the draft for everyone. I like also how back-to-back here you have the Commanders and the Bears, which basically just had inverse seasons of each other over the last 2 seasons.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it all, like, the flashpoint was obviously the Hail Mary, and then they played the next year again. But, Mike, let me recap the draft here. So, I took, for most wins, the Baltimore Ravens. New Orleans Saints is my most improved team. The New England Patriots as a wild card. The New York Jets as the least wins. The Philadelphia Eagles to win their division. The Green Bay Packers by best offense per EPA. The Houston Texans by highest team pressure rate. Cincinnati Bengals to win an international game. And the Dallas Cowboys as the smallest net point differential. I did not take anyone for same record as last year. Highest rushing success rate. Best defense by EPA. Team with the highest single game point total and most turnovers forced. Mike, you took the Pittsburgh Steelers to have the same record they had last year, the Los Angeles Chargers to be a wild card team, the Miami Dolphins to have the least wins, the Jacksonville Jaguars to win their division, the Buffalo Bills to have the highest rushing success rate, Seattle Seahawks to have the best defense by EPA, the Los Angeles Rams to have the highest team pressure rate, the Washington Commanders to win an international game, and the Chicago Bears for the smallest point differential. You did not take anyone for most wins, most improved team, best offense by EPA, highest single game point total, or most turnovers forced. So we had 2 categories with no picks. That would be highest single game point total and most turnovers forced, which feel like the 2 categories that if you were going to skip, were pretty random. So we're skipping.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to our bonus question here, Mike, any immediate takeaways? Any regrets? Any truths you wish to tell? Any lies you wish to speak into existence?
I'm just proud of myself because for last week's draft and this one, I was writing down our picks, so I at no point ever accidentally took a team that was already taken.
I think we went over on drafting already drafted teams. Mm-hmm. My biggest regret, Mike, I took the Saints as most improved. Should have taken the Titans. Wanted to take the Titans, meant to take the Titans. Forgot about the Titans. Here's the thing, Mike.
Didn't remember the Titans?
He beat me to the joke. Oh. So there you go, Mike. There's the draft. We have one question left to answer here, which is we both have to take a team to fire their coach in season. Now, we can take any team here. It can be a team already drafted. We can take the same team as each other.
Yeah.
And just like last week, I don't remember what I was going to say in that sentence, but just like last week, Mike. All right, so I am going to take for an in-season firing. You know, some of the teams that I kind of expect to be bad have a lot of grace right now to get away with that.
Mm.
I think that there is a good chance here, though, that there's two teams I'm considering for this pick. One of which had an explosively bad end of the year last year that put their team or put their coach on the hot seat. And the other one has just been pretty bad the entire time the coach has been there. So I am going to go with the Jets to fire Aaron Glenn in season.
Okay. I considered that one.
You can still take it if you want.
No, I don't.
Do you want to know my other team, or do you want to wait for you to make the pick?
I think I'm going to take your other team.
Mm-hmm.
My thing with the Jets was just that, kind of what I alluded to earlier. I think they're just going to make Aaron Glenn the sacrificial lamb. He can go through all season, take the ass kicking, and then fire him after he's helped get them a top 5 pick. So
I will say,
consider him.
As opposed to our question last week, which was a player to win the Triple Crown, we can both win this if we both pick teams that fire their coach in season.
Yes, we can. Yeah. So on to my pick, a man who I was once high on, but I've sold all my stock. The Stink. Shane Steichen.
Yep.
Indianapolis Colts.
Yep. I was typing it before you even finished. That was the other team I was thinking of.
Yeah. Going into year 3, I think they hoped he was going to come in and unlock Anthony Richardson. Year 1, that didn't happen. Had a bad year. Year 2, get off to this like outlier of a strong start with DJ, crash at the end of the year, missed the playoffs. Now we go into year 3. I'm really not crazy about what this team has on paper. Here are their first 5 games: Baltimore, Kansas City, Houston, Washington, Pittsburgh. I think people will probably argue when I say this. I think best case scenario, they walk out of that 1-5. And then after that, yeah, I think so. I think after that, there's a couple of like breaking point games. One of them is the very following week 6 against the Titans. Worst team in the division last year. They have them at home. And yeah, I think the Titans are going to show an improvement, but I think no one expects them to be like, double-digit win level of improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Titans walk in and beat them at home, that could be like a breaking point for ownership in the front office. Or 2 weeks later, they go to Jacksonville. And if Jacksonville just like mollywops them, divisional game, the like top team in the division that just won it, that they're fighting for, and they just kick their ass, that could be the breaking point as well.
So, according to the odds, the 3 hottest seats in the NFL, and books don't usually carry this, so this is from, I think this is like an aggregate from overseas books. This is as of May 18th. The 3 hottest seats in football are Dan Quinn, Aaron Glenn, and Zach Taylor. I think that I agree with you that I would go Aaron Glenn and Shane Steichen as the top 2.
Yeah, I wanted, like, my immediate thought was, for fuck's sake, it has to be Zach Taylor. But I think that offense is going to somehow keep them competitive throughout the year, and the dude's just a cockroach. He always survives somehow.
It's an even number year to start the season, which means that the team's going to be good. That's how the Bengals work. Every other year, they're good.
Bengals ownership
is cheap.
I was going to say Bengals ownership is too cheap to pay a coach that is not working for them, so they're going to probably wait for his contract.
They won't fire him in season. If his contract's up after the season, maybe they won't renew it, but they won't fire him in season.
Yeah. My biggest worry with the Steichen pick is just that they do have to hit my very low expectations and start out the first half of the year with a god-awful record. Because once again, similar, like if they hang around, they'll keep Steichen all year. So,
all right, Mike. Well, I will say that'll do it for our overly complicated preseason drafts here.
That'll do.
Now that we've done team and player, do you wanna throw out like a quick tease on if right now in a vacuum, if this was just called the Mike Regan Talks Football Podcast with Mike Regan, who would be your team talent alone going into next season? Now, for a reminder, for new listeners or those who were too drunk last season to remember the rules, team talent alone can be any team that we will follow every week as our secondary team behind our primary teams, which for me, of course, is the Seattle Seahawks, and for you is the New York Knicks. It can be any team that did not make the playoffs and is not the Buffalo Bills or Washington Commanders.
And we can't re-pick a team we've already done, right?
That's like an unspoken rule more than anything, but I don't think that's a hard rule.
Okay, because obviously, but you're down on the Falcons, so you would never let that happen.
No, I wouldn't let that happen. But like I said, if this was the Mike Regan Football Podcast hosted by Mike Regan, who would you pick?
I'm I'm leaning Ravens just because I'm like expecting this bounce back vengeance tour by Lamar.
Mm-hmm. They did miss the playoffs. That is a good pick.
They did. Or, I mean, the Saints would be fun.
Yeah. I think my front runners right now are Titans and Saints.
Yeah, those both would be fun picks.
Yeah. But we don't have to pick yet, Mike. We will have to pick soon, but we don't have to pick yet. And that's all we got, Mike. You got any plugs on the way out the door here?
No.
Is that a no or?
Yeah, just keep your eyes tuned to all of our socials and everything.
Yeah, keep your eyes tuned. Yeah, if you're listening to the audio version of this, first off, thank you for sticking with us through this entire draft process. Hopefully we're making the offseason more fun than just like going through and talking about what the, I don't know, Houston Texans are doing with their offseason, specifically for an entire podcast. If you're listening to us on Spotify, be sure you follow the show. If you're listening to us on a different audio platform, please go pay Spotify $4.99 for a month. Follow us there. Recommend us to all of your friends, even the ones that you know would hate the show. Then you get something to complain about with them. If you're into video podcasts, we post all of these podcasts on YouTube at Talent Alone Podcast, where you can see us talk and it cuts in between, and we keep it. We like to throw a lot of cuts in there so that your short attention span doesn't get distracted and end up with you on TikTok. Mike, there's a wrestling pay-per-view this week. Are we doing predictions?
Yeah, of course.
There you go. So keep an eye out on the website for our next batch of wrestling predictions. And Mike, we'll be back next week. I don't know what we're going to do on the show yet, but we'll figure it out before then.
Yep.
And with that, Mike, would you like to give a shout out to an NFL team on the way out the door here?
I'll give a shout out to the cheese packing people over in Green Bay, the Packers. Let's pack that cheese.
It would have been really funny if you said the cheese packing people, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.